Let us begin a session of talking on the 12 links of dependent origination. Many people ask a question, where do we come from? How come we get born into this world? How come we become what we are today? All these questions, you can find your answers in here. The 12 links of dependent origination explain life and death, explain reincarnation, transmigration, but these are only the keywords to the philosophy, the keywords to the truth. So you really have to understand in detail as to what it means. In learning the Buddhist philosophy, we need to memorize the keywords because you need to meditate on it. Not just like a book, after you read it, you put it aside, you may forget about it. No, you really have to get the keywords in your mind so that you have to meditate on it. There were two kinds, or actually there are two kinds of practitioners of the Buddhist teaching. Two kinds of practitioners. One, the Stravaka. Stravaka means they were born in the time of the Buddha, so they have the Buddha as the teacher, as the guru. They can actually listen to the Buddhist teaching, the Stravaka. And also they can read, like when we are practicing the Buddhist religion, the Buddhist teaching, we are like the Stravakas on our road to the Stravakas because we can listen, we can read, we have words, we have language. But there are another kind of practitioners who do not have that opportunity. They were born in the time where the Buddha was already passed away, or they were born in the time that there's actually no Buddhist teaching in this world. Nothing like that. So they are the pratyeka practitioners, which means that they have nothing to depend on, so they meditate on what they observed. They observed summer, spring, winter, autumn. Then they know the impermanence of the world. In the springtime, the flowers come out, and then slowly the flowers wither away and go into autumn, and autumn goes into winter, and winter goes into snowing, and then everything has a cycle. They meditate on nature. They don't have the Buddhist teaching to depend on. They meditate on nature. They may meditate on even a bird. Oh, a bird comes now, and what makes up of this bird? Where this bird comes from? The bird can sing the spring, and how come in the wintertime the bird is not singing? So they always observe nature, and they meditate on the impermanence of it. They observe the world, and they meditate on the sufferings of it. They meditate on people, and they observe the catastrophes, wars inflict on each other, inequalities. They observe these things, and they are called the pratyeka practitioners, and if they become enlightened, they become the pratyeka Buddha. The Stravakas also become the Buddha when they get enlightened, fully enlightened, what I mean. So this is paticca samuppada, it's dependent origination. This is what the pratyeka Buddha's basis of practice. It's just like when we chant Om Mani Padme Hum. These are just the keywords. You still remember what it means? What Om Mani Padme Hum means? Those who don't know what Om Mani Padme Hum means, raise your hands. So we have 1, 2, don't be shy, just raise your hand. Honesty is the best policy. Nobody knows everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's quite a many people who do not know Om Mani Padme Hum. Well, maybe sometime we will have to explain it. Now we concentrate on Paticca Samuppada. You want to know it now? You're so eager that you want to know it now? You want to know it now? Raise your hands. So then I have to stop here. Maybe it's worth stopping here because you've just chanted it and you don't know what it means. What does Om Mani Padme Hum mean? Those who understand, those who know already, you have to tolerate it. That's endurance. That is one of the 6 paramitas. You know about it, but it's a good reminder. Om Mani Padme Hum. What does Om means? Om, according to the mystery of sound, is the origin of sound. Om, Hum is the origin of all sound. Om is the mother of all sound. It produces all sounds. So some lamas and rinpoches, they just chant on Om, Hum, Hum, origin of sound. It's also the origin, according to some sutras, the origins of all good deeds. It also means arousing your awareness to listen to the sound. So when you chant Om, it can actually means listen very carefully. Om means listen very carefully and listen with the true mind. Listen with your sincerity. Listen with your humbleness. Om, what do you mean by Om? I don't like this Om. There's no humbleness. Om is just a creation. It's just OM. Everybody know about it. I can Google into it. Well, that is without humbleness. So open your mind. If you fill up your cup with water, no more water can get in. Empty your cup of stubbornness, empty your cup of self-view so that you can receive more. So Om it means something. Listen very carefully. Om means listened. Mani, M-A-N-I, Mani. No. Om Mani Padme Hum is a Sanskrit language. And this is Pali. Pali and Sanskrit, they are very close. They're very close, almost have a lot of similarities. Om Mani, M-A-N-I, Mani. What does Mani mean? Mani means diamond, the most precious jewel. The most precious jewel that you cannot compare to anything, but how do you get that most precious description? We just use the word Mani, the most precious. And that most precious, the most precious one, or somebody call it God, the utmost, the topmost, the most precious, the most tranquility, the most happiness, the most eternity. You just use that word Mani, or the God, the hidden God, the within God. Mani, the most precious. And that most precious is not something that you're looking for. You don't need to look for it. It's nowhere to be found. You can't look for it. It's right within you. It's inside of you. But you just let it go unnoticed. You don't notice it. It's in you. It's that understanding in you. It's that misunderstanding in you. It's that ego attitude in you. It's that altruistic attitude in you. That changeability in you. That unchangeability in you. It's all there. Let's find it out more. Mani. Listen very carefully. You've got that nature in you. When that nature is confused, you're a sentient being. When that nature is all enlightened, revealed, a full revelation, you are the God. You are the Buddha. So God and Buddha is in you. Don't look for it outside. It's not the wood statue. It's just a representation. It's right in you. You've got to know it. You've got to recognize it. And you've got to recognize it with humbleness, with understanding. Clear yourself of all ignorance, then you know it. But if you all cover up with emotions, passions, greediness, hatred, disappointment, fear, depression, you lose it. So Matni, that Buddha nature in you, you have that Buddha nature. You are the God. You are also the follower. There's no such thing as a God and a follower, the God and the Son. The Son and the God is one. If there's a difference, there's a discrimination, it's not it. It's impure. When the discrimination is all fused into equality and one bright illumination, that's God. When you have that God and believer concept, it's not it. When you have that I am God, it's not it. So I don't know what to say. I don't know. So that Matni, Matni, listen very carefully. That something in you, that mystery in you. If we don't have a word, we can express it. So we use Matni. Padme, Mani Padme Hum. Padme, if you pronounce it right, is Padme. So we have Mani Padme. Padme, if you really want to understand Matni, then you have to Padme. You have to take action. You can't just sit there and say, where's my Matni? You have to take action. How do you take that action to find that Matni? You have to put on your knapsacks and take out your map and get everything ready and get onto the road of enlightenment. You can't just sit there and I got that Matni, I got that Matni. No. You've got to practice it. It's like the two wings of a bird. You have the truth, the philosophy, the theory. You need to practice to get it out. You need to practice to fly. You need the two wings to fly like a bird. A bird has one wing, it can never fly. So what is that Padme? In here, we can only use descriptions. Matni is also a description. It's a noun for precious jewel. Padme is only a description. What is a word? This morning, Lee started his introduction by saying, a thought starts from a word. I can also say, a word starts from a thought. If a thought starts a word, where does that word come from? Is it the thought first or the word first? We always want to look for the beginning. What's the beginning? We always want we always think that there's a beginning. We always think that the chicken gives rise to the egg. And then we say, where does the chicken come from? The chicken or egg? Egg comes first or the chicken comes first? We're always hung up with that kind of dichotomy of contradiction. And we forgot about the practice. To resolve that contradiction, you need to practice to find out. You just don't sit there and read a book and then you find out the answer. You got to walk. So what is this Padme? this path, this practice. Padme means lotus flower. This lotus flower, we got lotus flowers. When you walk into that wooden door in the garden, we have a few pots of flowers. We don't just put there for nothing. We put there to enlighten you, and you don't realize it. You just walk by and say, oh, it's beautiful, and then you walk by. Everything has a meaning, you know. We don't do anything without meaning. It's just like I always told you, it's not a joke. Why do we have so many doors in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doors. What do we do usually first in the morning? We said, we'll give you a garbage bag, put all your mental afflictions, your garbage, your mental garbage in that bag, and you throw it out that door. And since you have so many people, we need so many doors for you to float out. So these doors are designed for flowing out garbages. We don't build them for nothing. So getting back to the lotus. Lotus, how do we observe a lotus? A lotus grown from the mud. The mud symbolizes the world of suffering, the world of confusion. But when the lotus comes out, it's not attached to the mud, it's detached. It's aloof of the suffering. It's beyond suffering, beyond life and death, beyond confusion, beyond ignorance, beyond killing, lying, sexual misconduct, cursing, slandering, beyond all these things. It's beyond the purity of the lotus. It's the purity of the lotus. That matni, if it's in the mud, that precious jewel, if it is in the mud, is not pure. You got to make it pure. Like a lotus, you have to grow out from it, grow beyond it. Then you find that purity. How do we do that? How do we grow out of the mud and attain that purity like a lotus flower? Where do we get the impurities from? Where do we get the impurities from? The impurities is from our 6 senses attached to the 6 phenomena. So our impurities come from the eyes seeing something we like, something lovable, and we love it, and we cherish it, and we attach to it. Our ears attach to sound. We like pleasant sound, pleasant music, and we hate criticism. We don't like cursing sound. We just like praise. So the ears attach to another phenomena, the sound. So eyes to matter, eyes to all kinds of things. Nose attached to frequency. Tongue attached to taste. And all your senses work that way. So all our senses are being attracted by everything. And in the process of attaching, mental afflictions come out. Like sexual misconduct, killing, lying, cursing. For that reason, anger, you name them. All these things come out. It's because of our wrong attachment of the senses to all matters, all sound, all affairs, everything in the world. Be like a lotus. Don't attach to it. Purify your senses. Purify your eyes, your nose, your ears, your tongue, your touch, and purify finally your mentality, your mind. Purify the mind. Nothing is purified unless your mind is purified. Nothing is pure unless your mind is pure. The society cannot be pure unless every citizen become pure. And it's very impossible in these days because everybody comes here with the karma. Why do we come to this world? Have we analyzed the world, the universe, the karmic world? The karmic worlds have three strata. The world of desires, the world without desires, where we just form the world without forms and without desires. And we are living in the world of desire. Why? Because when we come with the karma, our alaya consciousness contain those seeds of desires. Desires for food, desires for sleep, desires for sex. And we think that that's natural. We always think that, well, that's human nature. We need that. We need to kill animals for food. We need sexual relationship. We thought that's what we need. That's taken for granted. But actually it's not. You just contain those seeds in your consciousness. You roll into this reincarnation with the karmic energy, and you can contain those seeds. And in this life, you encounter all phenomena, and the seeds become agitated, and you carry out the volitional actions because of the seed, because of all this environment. And then you get rolled into transmigration again and again, like in a reincarnation. So the Buddha said, involvement with sex is the basis of reincarnation. But all sentient beings take that as fun, take that as something that is natural. It's not natural. In other words, we always take selfishness as natural. We always take ego. Being egoistic is very important. I am the best, I got to struggle, this is my right. Always take your ego into consideration, and you think that that's natural. Throw away that ego. We can never get out from the mud if we don't let go of that, if we don't come out of it. If we don't come out of killing, lying, sexual misconduct, greediness, hatred, violence, we always be with the mud. So if you come out of that, you become purer and purer, more pure and more pure. And gradually, you get into complete purity. Absolutely complete purity, one purity. And that's what we call God. And that's what we call Buddha. And that's what we call enlightenment. And that's what we call Anuttara Samya Sambuddhi. It does not matter how you call it. Does it matter how you call it? It's just a word. But some people attach to words. They like to call it God and nothing else. That's another attachment. You attach to God. You attach to religion. No religion. Remember that song? Imagine there's no religion. It has a meaning in it. You don't need religion. Do you need religion? You need religion, but you don't need the attachment to that word. You need it and you don't need it. How do we padme in order to get the matni? You have to put your senses under your control. You are the boss of that company that you keep. This is your company. This body is your company. And you got salesmen. These salesmen are always attaching to the outside. You need to put your salesman under control. Your front end people, your front end senses, you need to put them under control. You got to manage them. That manager also has a board of director. And that board of director, they don't show up all the time. That board of directors is hidden. And that's your consciousness. Can you see consciousness? You can't see it, but it works all the time. The board of directors is always watching this guy called a manager and say, you got to do a good job. And that job is to make profit for the company. I don't care what you do, you make profit for me. Your consciousness is tainted, polluted, like that board of directors who is only profit making. He's not charitable. He's for himself, like our consciousness is for ourselves. Clean up that board of directors. Make it non-selfish. But it could be the manager's job too, if the manager is creative, to clean up the board of directors by educating the board of directors. Look, we got to be altruistic. We can't be too selfish. So you are the manager. You can change the board of directors in you. You change the consciousness in you. You're going to put all your salesmen under control. Don't let your senses go out far and wide. Put them under control. How? How do you put them under control? A lot of work has to be applied to it. During the 7 days retreat I just finished, I talked on one subject for 7 days. Just one subject. Contemplation of the body. Contemplation of the body as impure, that is to combat what? Combat sexual thought in you. This thought is very difficult to subdue, because that is in your consciousness for millions of years, reincarnating. You always carry that, and you thought that as nature in you, that you need. And now the Buddha said, no, control that, throw it away, you don't need that. Now, how do you do it? The Buddha taught us how to apply the thought of impurity in order to combat that arising thought in you. And I show a lot of pictures, and just give you an example. It's not easy to control your senses. You've got to have some techniques to control your senses. The thought of impurities. So when a man looks at or when a woman looks at a handsome man, or when a man looks at a beautiful woman, something comes out in the mind. How do you control it? Why it comes out? Because you've got that seeds in you. For many, many reincarnations, for many, many lives, you've got that seeds in you. They are agitated and waiting to carry into volitional actions. When the action is carried out, it goes back to fumigate that seed again, and it carry on, one fumigate the other. The action fumigate the seed carry out the action, and it all works in a cycle, unending life and death, an ending cycle. So, Padme, control of the senses. So just these few words, we need to talk a lot about it. It's the whole Buddhism. How to control your eyes, the ears, the nose. Every one of these need a lecture, at least one lecture, a 3-hour lecture. And you expect to know everything in half an hour? No, you just know the main points. Just the main points. First, you've got to control your senses. And of course, you still have to change the attitude of your board of directors, purify your board, and that's the second stage. If you can't even control the salesman, how can you purify your board of directors? They're higher than you. And the Buddha said, the first action to purify yourself is to take the precepts and conform to the precepts. Abstain from killing, abstain from lying, abstain from sexual misconduct, abstain from cursing, abstain from flowery language, abstain from double-tonguing, abstain from greediness, abstain from ignorance, abstain from hatred. Learning all these things, getting away from those, That's the beginning of sense of control of your senses. Not to mention about any high-level philosophy of the Buddhist teaching. Can you conform? Can you observe these precepts? If you can't even do that crude understanding, there's crude and refined thought. If a crude thought comes out, it could carry out all these bad volitional actions. This Vinaya, these precepts, are to control the crude thoughts, the crude actions, the volitional actions. But there are also other methods to purify the board of directors, and you need fine, refined techniques. And it's all in the Buddhist teaching. I didn't create all these. It's the Buddhist teaching. But how many people really know about the Buddhist teaching, and how many people are really interested in it? What are they interested in? Profit making, pursuit of material wants, needs. All they do is pursuit of materialism. So Om Mani Padme, be like a lotus. Home, what is home? Like a home run? Home. Home means the planting of a Buddhist seed in your consciousness. Every time when you chant Om Mani Padme, that means, listen, I have that Buddha nature in me. I got to practice purity to get that Buddha nature. You're reminding yourself every time when you're chanting this. And then home, that means a seed is planted in your alaya consciousness. Every thought has energy. Every word has energy. You keep on planting seeds in your field of energy. It's just like when the salesman says, I want to be a good salesman. Every day is repeating, I want to be a good salesman. I want to sell so many cars per day. I want to sell so many houses per day. Repeating and repeating and repeating, he's reinforcing himself on what he has to do. So Om Mani Padme Hum, that means you're reinforcing yourself that you have to purify, you will have to control all your salesmen, you have to purify your board of directors. Home is a Buddhist seed is planted in your alaya consciousness. When a seed is planted, it won't go away. When you key into that keyboard in your computer, it won't go away. That is in there. That is in the disk drive. It won't get forgotten. It's registered in there. If you keep on registering, you keep on reinforcing yourself, you will carry it into action. On the other hand, if you keep on saying, I want to hurt that guy, or some people say, I want to kill that guy. If you're repeating and repeating and repeating, psychologically, you will carry it out. Everything comes from a thought. So if you're keeping Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, you have nothing but thought of going towards purity, thought of going towards enlightenment, thought of benefiting the whole world. That Om Mani Padme Hum is not just for yourself, you know. If just for yourself, it's Hinayana. It's for the whole world. You want to purify everybody. You want everybody to be purified. Not just for your own sake, for everybody. You want everybody to become the Buddha. You don't want anybody to get hurt. Not just for yourself. You will say, Om Mani Padme Hum, I am purifying myself. I am going to be the Buddha. We want everybody to become a Buddha. That's called Buddhist teaching. The Buddhist teaching starts from others, not self. Because if you start from self, it's contradicting yourself. It's ego. I want to enlighten myself. When I'm enlightened, I will be the Buddha. Then I can shine the whole world. I am the God. Isn't that egoism? When you come to that level, there's no ego left.